Right, so my name is Venancio Tillit. I'm a dive instructor here at Scuba School and Family Dive Center over at the country of Belize. So I was having a chat and I was kind of talking about how the Belizean people have a passion and love to the ocean, to a point that they actually stood up to the government over a contract that they had on how to or drill oil in Belizean waters. As we all know, Belize have one of the best heritage, which is the second largest barrier reefs in the world, where then it's important for us to protect it. We as divers and instructors, we spend majority of our time on the water seeing changes when it comes to the reef, from natural disasters, global warming, to dredging. And now that oil was another thing that we know, the destruction of it, what happened on the Gulf with the BP oil leaking. We know the destruction that happened to all the coastline within the West Louisiana and those areas. So at that time, there was a vessel that was spotted, off the coast of Belize, and they were doing what is known as the seismic sound. What it does is they would send very strong sound on the water to see what's underneath that bottom. So a little bit of people heard that, but also it called the attention to a lot of the people that those diving. Some of them were coming from the Blue Hole, and they spot those boats there, where a group of them actually gathered themselves and went to Tropic Air. They got the plane. They asked Tropic to fly them over to see what that vessel was. So nobody was aware of what it is. The community, one of the things that Belize and San Pedro and overall have, they're very united when it comes to the protection of the reef or any of our natural habitats that we have, where they just gather together within hours to find out what is that vessel doing in Belizean water. Why are they spending so much time going back and front, and why are the sounds that they're hearing underwater? They try to reach a lot of the government's offices. They really couldn't get into one person to find out that it's a vessel from an oil company that was doing research on exploring where in the front of a reef was oil, which they actually found oil there. So they wanted to see where is the best to start actually drilling for the oil, where within hours the whole community, especially people that does a lot of the fishing, snorkeling and diving, gather on the facility, a building known as for the Lions Den building, and had a meeting within hours on finding out how to stop this vessel, to the point that it started where everybody was putting together a fleet of boats going and intercepting that big boat and surrounding and stopping, where then few people had boats, and then those that don't have boats were putting fuel together. Who's gonna go? How are they gonna approach it? As well on who's gonna stay in the mainland and talk to the officials. The point finally actually got a hold of the Minister of Tourism, which was at that time, and he was at the house. So they get him from his house to brought it to where everybody was, and have him actually call the Ministry of Natural Resources and Fisheries to find out what was going on. Well, it was where then he explained that yes, they were actually looking for oil, and they were gonna start drilling in Belize. The community actually stopped that by telling the minister to call the Prime Minister of Belize and need to stop that immediately, because the whole fleet that was already getting lined up was gonna go and approach that. Well, within hours, we then heard that yes, it got stopped. Yeah, that same day, to remember, the guys gather again and they went to Tropic Air and have the plane fly again to see if it was stationary, which they saw the boat actually leaving Belizean waters. So they monitored within days, and 3 days we did not see that vessel again. And that's how that got prevented. Now, because of that, the non-governmental organization like Oceana and some others all gathered together here in San Pedro, and I was actually in that meeting where then we were trying to have the government pass a law where no oil exploration or drilling was going to happen in the regional waters, anything that could affect the reef. It took some time to stop it, but now, to the work of all the community, and there's a lot in the country believes that oil cannot be explored or be drilled. So it took the passion community that love the ocean, love what they see every day, and we know that we depend from that ocean, from feeding if you're a fisherman, from eating, catching fish, to where it can be.